Deion Sanders Jr. forced to break silence as family reputation at stake over Shedeur Sanders' lies. Deion Sanders Jr. didn't plan on stepping into the rumor mill this week. But when his brother's name got dragged through the mud, he couldn't stay silent. It all traces back to April 2025, the night Shedeur Sanders fell from a projected top 10 pick to round 5, number 144 overall. The football world gasped. What went wrong? 6 months later, a Cleveland radio host decided to fill in the blanks, and that's when the oldest Sanders kid said enough was enough. On October 28th, Deion Sanders Jr. fired back at a viral X clip by the Cleveland 92.3, the fan host Anthony Lima questioning Shedeur Sanders' draft slide. And let's just say he didn't sugarcoat a word of it. That's a lie. Ask at Eric Galco, he runs the Shrine Bowl. He wrote on X, calling out what he labeled pure fiction. Boys sit there and ignore all the lies you'll say, but sometimes you'll just go too crazy. His post was a line in the sand. The Sanders family had heard enough. But what exactly sparked this whole thing? Let's rewind the tape. It started on Browns Trade Talk, when the Athletics' Zach Jackson claimed Shedeur Sanders bailed on the Shrine Bowl after claiming the Browns and Giants told him not to play. He shows up all of a sudden, nope, not doing anything. And then he makes up this stuff about how the Browns and the Giants told him not to work out or something like this. He said, his blunt take is, dude, no one told you that. Stop it. That's the narrative Deion Jr. is dismantling point by point. The Sanders family has always lived under a spotlight brighter than most. A mix of celebrity, expectation, and scrutiny that rarely dims. But this week, that light turned harsh. What started as another round of off-season speculation about quarterback Shedeur Sanders' NFL draft tumble turned into a viral firestorm that forced the oldest Sanders brother, Deion Sanders Jr., to step in publicly and defend his family name. It wasn't the first time the Sanders family had faced criticism, and it certainly won't be the last. But this one hit differently. It wasn't about football performance, game strategy, or even locker room drama. It was about integrity, truth, and reputation. And for Deion Sanders Jr., watching his younger brother's name being smeared across the sports media landscape was one lie too many. The breaking point: a family pushed to respond. It all started with a clip from the Cleveland 92.3, the fan that went viral on social media. Host Anthony Lima questioned Shedeur Sanders' conduct during the pre-draft process, specifically suggesting that the young quarterback bailed on the East-West Shrine Bowl, a prestigious event that showcases NFL hopefuls to scouts and executives. The claim that Shedeur had shown up, refused to play, and fabricated a story that the Cleveland Browns and New York Giants told him not to participate. That accusation spread fast. Fans shared it. Commentators debated it. Critics piled on. But on October 28th, Deion Sanders Jr., known affectionately as Bucky, decided silence was no longer an option. That's a lie. Ask at Eric Galco, he runs the Shrine Bowl. He wrote on X, formerly Twitter. Boys sit there and ignore all the lies you'll say, but sometimes you'll just go too crazy. The post instantly caught fire. Thousands of retweets, tens of thousands of likes. It wasn't just a denial, it was a declaration. The Sanders family was done playing defense in the media. Where the rumor began, a tale of misinformation. The controversy traces back to comments from Zach Jackson, a reporter for The Athletic, who said on Browns Trade Talk that Shedeur Sanders showed up all of a sudden to the Shrine Bowl but made up this stuff about how the Browns and Giants told him not to work out. Jackson's tone was blunt, even dismissive. Dude, no one told you that. Stop it, he said during the segment. That quote set the internet ablaze. And while it may have been intended as casual criticism, it struck a nerve with a family already under constant scrutiny. For Deion Sanders Jr., this wasn't just about media spin, it was about truth being sacrificed for clicks. The real story, what actually happened in Texas. Back in January 2025, Shedeur Sanders was indeed in Frisco, Texas, where the Shrine Bowl events took place. Cameras caught him in the hotel lobbies, shaking hands with scouts, engaging in team meetings, but he didn't practice or play. That absence raised eyebrows immediately. After all, this was a quarterback once projected to go top 10 overall, with some analysts calling him the most NFL-ready prospect in the country. But those close to the situation, including Eric Galko, the Shrine Bowl's director, made it clear that nothing sinister happened. "We don't pressure guys to play if they don't feel comfortable, if they don't feel healthy or whatever reason it may be," Galko said at the time. "It would have been great if he practiced, but him not practicing does not mean that it was all preordained. That was a new development and we still support him." That's the statement Deion Jr. referenced, and the one that directly contradicts the Cleveland radio claim. Behind the scenes, family loyalty meets public pressure. For the Sanders family, defending one another in public isn't just a reaction. It's part of who they are. Deion Sanders Jr. runs Well Off Media, the digital production company that chronicles the family's journey, from Colorado locker rooms to NFL draft weekends. Through that platform, he's built a bridge between fans and the real-life Sanders dynamic. Candid, faith-driven, and fiercely loyal. So when misinformation spread about Shedeur's professionalism, it wasn't just a rumor to Bucky. It was an attack on the image his father and brothers had worked so hard to build. The timing made it sting even more. Shedeur, now a rookie quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, has been battling uphill for respect since falling to round 5, pick 144. A shocking slide after being projected as a top 10 pick. Critics pointed to everything from his college offensive line to attitude concerns. Narratives that many around the league believe were exaggerated or unfounded. For the Sanders family, those whispers felt familiar, part of the same pattern of media targeting that's followed Deion Sanders throughout his coaching career. Deion Sanders Sr., a storm of his own in Boulder. While his oldest son fought battles on social media, Coach Prime has been fighting very different battles in real life. The Colorado Buffaloes, once the darlings of college football, have fallen hard from grace. After a 3-5 start and a humiliating 53-7 loss to Utah, the team's swagger has been replaced by soul-searching. Deion Sanders, who's also recovering from major health issues including blood clot surgeries and bladder cancer treatment, admitted this has been one of the toughest stretches of his career. "I got my butt kicked," he said bluntly after the Utah loss. "All 3 phases. We got hooped." It's been a year of challenges, losing key players like Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and Jimmy Horn Jr. to the NFL, while trying to rebuild depth in a tougher Big 12 conference. Even Shannon Sharpe, one of Prime's most vocal supporters, has acknowledged the struggle. Colorado doesn't have the expectations LSU has. Sharpe said on the nightcap, they lost their 2 best players. Well, 3, counting Jimmy Horn, so I didn't have big expectations. Realistically, what did y'all expect Colorado's record to be? Sharpe's defense underscores what many insiders believe. The hype may have outpaced the reality. Family under fire, again. The Sanders family's unique blend of fame and faith has always made them polarizing. They inspire millions, but they also attract critics who seem to delight in every stumble. When Shedeur fell in the draft, some saw it as a referendum on Deion's influence in college football. When the Buffaloes started losing, others called it karma. And now, as false stories circulate about Shedeur's professionalism, the family once again finds itself in the media's crosshairs. But if there's one thing the Sanders family doesn't do, it's run from the storm. "I'm going to coach until I don't have that urge to get up in the morning and go get it and go help and go be a blessing," Deion Sanders said in a recent interview. "My health is wonderful. I'm good. I'm not thinking about anything but winning." That mindset, resilient, grounded, and focused, mirrors what his sons have learned. Deion Jr. wasn't defending just Shedeur with his ex-post. He was defending the legacy of a family that has built everything through faith, grit, and visibility.